Michael, here's a question that's come in close to my heart. How important is a candidate's body language during debates in conveying their leadership qualities? Body language, Michael Leckie, does it matter?
Body language. Body language. It's always fun. This reminds me of the time when Einstein asked me how to explain relativity. But since this is your bailiwick, I'm going to give it a shot, though.
Good.
How important is body language? It's absolutely critical. And one of the things I've learned, and you're going to talk so much more about this, but I'm going to give people one of the key things that I have taken away from spending years working with and having the privilege of sharing a stage with Mark Bowden, is that your body language, while it can communicate so much to others, is critically important to you in getting you in the place where you need to be. The body language you have before you come out there, the body language you use, even like, and a question like this, if we were on stage together, one of the things that I would be doing, and you'll see me do this as best I can for the camera, as soon as I hand it back to Mark, is I'm thinking, well, dang, this is Mark's area of expertise. He's literally written the book on this, several of them, is we'd play the Isn't My Friend Amazing game. So when I turn it over to you, then I'm going to be looking at you, or in this case, just looking at the camera and letting everyone know that you're the one whose voice matters right now. You're the one who's sharing something that has something to share. And so my body language, I'm going to use when I'm by myself, I'm going to use it to make sure that I am in a place that I know is opening me up to the audience, is making them receptive to what I have to say, is creating that space. And I'm going to use that knowledge. I'm going to use that knowledge that my hands being in the truth plane is going to create more receptivity. And now I'm going to say, I've created a receptivity. I don't know that. I just know the theory. But I'm going to say, this audience is receptive to what I have to say. They want to hear what I have to say. And I'm going to share that. And then I'm going to remember that, but the audience is also going to mirror me. And so I'm going to say, you know, what you're thinking about it, your view on this may not be the perfect answer. I don't know everything about this. I'm going to be self-deprecating enough or open enough and vulnerable enough while I'm occupying the position of power that people will say, hey, you know what? He thinks we're interesting. He must be interesting. He thinks we're intelligent. He must be intelligent. So I'm going to really use that body language to get myself to a place where I am comfortable on stage with what I'm doing. That's the first thing that comes to mind for me. But given that you've written several books on this topic and have television shows on it, what do you think?
Well, you've read the books well, and you've seen the TV shows, and you explained that beautifully, Michael Leckie. Let me just add on top of that, maybe not in the way that you would think. Here's the thing, is once that body language is spot on, people are now really listening to you. And now you need some really good words. You better have some good ideas, and they better be poetically and beautifully said, especially in that political arena, because you have to ignite people's imagination for the future. And so your body language must be aligned with what you're saying. Yes, body language, open, calm, assertive, but now you want to think about alignment to the message. Actually, last time I saw Joe Biden do this actually quite well was his NATO speech. Now, I've got auto cues. He's got a writer who's written some good words there. He was late because he was having a bit of a practice around all of this stuff beforehand, okay? And when you see him do, I will not bow down to Putin, on that we have baton gestures, forcing down. These are called suppressor baton gestures. Sharp tool here, pushing down on that Putin. The body language was aligned with the message. The message was clear and poetic, and so brilliantly done. Now, of course, later on, we go into Q&A. That's the real stress test. The Q&A with real journalists asking real questions that are really trying to pierce that facade to go, what's really going on inside there? The energy drops, all kinds of other things happen. We're back to not the great performance that many people might have been hoping for out of that. So yes, Michael Leckie, body language, perfect, but also message needs to be great, and the two things aligned, and then you've got a winning combination. So look, Michael, what do you got?
But the only thing I want to add to that is you used a word I want to pull out because we don't use it all the time in business, and I think it's an overlooked word, which is performance. Whether you'd like it or not, in any level of leadership role, there is an aspect of performance to what you do. And the bigger that role grows, the more there is an aspect of performance, because you don't have the time to become tight bosom buddies with everybody that you're working with. They have a little piece of you, but they need to see what they need to stay engaged, focused, motivated in a direction that you want to move the organization. So I think if there's anything you can take away from this political spin on our career Ask Me Anything is there is an aspect to your career that is performance. By the way, to Mark's point earlier, if you start to perform but you've got no good lines to say, you'll end up looking like a fool or a faker or somebody that really doesn't have a lot on the ball, just a lot of show and no go. But if you have the material, if you have the content, if you have the thoughts behind you, and you have the performance piece, that makes you near unstoppable. And there are not enough people in business that take the performance piece seriously enough. And it's one of the things that we help our clients with is not only do you bring all the intellect, do you bring all the outcomes, but do you bring the performance that people need so they can follow you with the soundbite moments that they have in which to make decisions about how they're going to continue to follow and be excited by where you want to leave them. So Michael Leckie, Mark Bowden here doing our this month's political spin on our career Ask Me Anything. Thanks for joining us. As always, you can go to michaelleckie.com/ask and ask us your questions, or whatever media you're seeing this, you can go ahead and put questions in the comments, and we will read all those. And with our intrepid producer, Fei Wu, we will figure out what we're going to answer, and we'll get back to you and answer your questions on our career Ask Me Anything. And thank you for joining us.